for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it. Because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school. You did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Something, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
It'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable, gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Five, three.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
And we welcome you to downtown Morgantown Metro News Radio and Television Network studios on this 22nd day of February 2026. It is the statewide Sportsline presented by CityNet. Travis Jones along with Greg Hunter on this, light snow Sunday night. Hopefully the last time we say that for this winter at least. As looks like winter's getting one last hurrah in as we get ready to turn the calendar into the month of March. Travis and Greg Hunter with you here till 8 o'clock tonight as we cover the bases. We got a lot of things to get into tonight. Mountaineer baseball, of course, basketball, Mountaineer men and women, both in action yesterday, and varying, polarizing results really on opposite ends of the spectrum. The high school basketball season is starting to wind down as well. Girls regionals are set for this week. Joe Bricato will join us coming up in the first hour to preview the girls regionals that begin later this week. Boys seedings will be out this coming week, and then the games follow for the boys coming up next week. Mountain East Conference Tournament also begins a week from Wednesday in Wheeling. So next Sunday we'll preview that because we'll have the matchup set. So a lot to get into on the show tonight. We've got all kinds of sound from yesterday we'll get to you, including Mountaineer baseball tape as West Virginia wins a weekend series down in Liberty, winning 2 out of 3. So all that coming up on the program tonight. Coach Hunter's alongside. Should we have started the show tonight playing taps for West Virginia in honor of West Virginia's NCAA tournament hopes?
Well, I guess in basketball you never are completely out of it, right? Because you're always one really strong conference tournament away from making that kind of opportunity.
You're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. So, but admittedly, went awry for West Virginia. And a difficult game in Fort Worth against TCU, but Mountaineers led fairly late, but let that slip away. We've seen it go the opposite way for West Virginia multiple times this year when they've had dramatic come-from-behind victories. Well, this time it turned on them. So, unfortunately for the Mountaineers, yet another one that, and truthfully, I don't know if that win in itself would have been nearly enough to get West Virginia back on the positive side of the NCAA tournament bubble, despite what the TV announcers kept trying to sell that one as throughout the game. But, losing it certainly slides you down even further. And I've been saying for a while, I don't think, if you're West Virginia, don't even put that in the back of your mind completely right now in terms of what the postseason is going to look like. Just try to finish out the regular season strong and then, go to Kansas City, play in the Big 12 tournament, and, we'll see. There's probably postseason for West Virginia. though it's not likely unless there's a miracle run in the Big 12 tournament going to be an NCAA variety.
Really, the lot's changed in the last 7 days. We sat here last Sunday, and you'd worked yourself back onto the bubble. Albeit, the wrong side of said bubble. If you believe Joe Lenardi last week, you were 7 teams out at that point, so still had plenty of work to do. The undoing started on Wednesday. Make no mistake about it. That was a bad loss, and as we always hear, a bad loss. You almost have to win 2 good games to make up for a bad loss in the eyes of the committee, and then you lose that one, and then TCU was a toss-up game against another bubble team, so that was one you have to get. And that one, the Utah game, that was like watching a slow car wreck, a car wreck in slow motion, because you could see it coming a mile away, you just couldn't get out of the way of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yesterday, different story. I mean, West Virginia, you felt pretty good about where the Mountaineers were until about the final media timeout, and TCU goes on a 10-2 run. West Virginia, again, can't score, and, kept fouling them, putting them at the line, and then lo and behold, that's the outcome you get.
No, you're right. I mean, certainly West Virginia's offensive struggles throughout the year have been there, so those late struggles weren't a surprise at TCU. There was a stretch there when West Virginia hit some shots, but bad turnovers, didn't hit shots down the stretch when you needed, never rebounded very well. And, TCU's not a bad team if you don't do everything just right, and West Virginia's not so overly talented. They can just slide away from anybody, and TCU's good enough that they take advantage of what they do well, and West Virginia did not. And again, Utah, bad loss, but we saw the Utes. Everybody in this league's good enough if you're not playing well to get a win. And West Virginia's coming down the stretch. I don't know if they're worn down a little bit, but they've sort of been what they are in terms of offensive issues throughout the year. And, they've been typically good defensively, but there are times you still have to have enough offense to win in college basketball.
Yeah, our first texter tonight, I'll read his or her text in full coming up once we get to the text, but I thought they posed a very interesting question about regression. And sometimes the answer is not that simple. Yes, they've regressed, or no, they haven't regressed. But I think that it's an interesting question to throw out. Do you think that this team has gotten worse through the year? Or I tend to think that it's more of a case where this team's always been kind of left-handed offensively all year, and it's just now it's become even more so in the fact that teams now have scouted you and they know exactly what they need to do to shut you down or make other guys beat you offensively. And, nights like yesterday, West Virginia was unable to do that.
No, I think that that last part of it is the thing that I think of first and foremost, and it is a good question. Has West Virginia gotten worse? I think there are other teams that have gotten better. I mean, everybody gets some improvement over the course of the season. Others have probably jumped ahead more, but I think that last part of it is what I take in that teams have. I mean. They're all highly paid coaches in this league that have every opportunity to put together all the analytics and video that you need to fully scout people. So Honor Huff's opportunities to get open looks have been negated, especially in the, I don't even want, since early Big 12 play. Everybody knows he's first and foremost on the scouting report, stop him. And then all around, every player West Virginia now has been scouted very well, and I think the opponents have a strategy that has worked a good bit of times. Now, West Virginia, I mean, they're not a 0-15. They're 500 in the league. They've had some success, but it comes very difficult for them because they do have problems getting multiple people scoring in the offense. And you've seen when there's been a second or third scorer like West Virginia had this point last week when we were talking about Jasper Floyd having a nice game at Central Florida. West Virginia hasn't had that enough, and it's Honor Huff having to force up a lot of tough shots against really good defensive players as their only true offensive threat, and that makes it difficult.
Well, any given time when you look out there, you've got at least one guy that isn't an offensive threat, no matter what the lineup is. And you mentioned Huff, and you knew this was going to come. He's a diminutive guy, so it's going to be, easier for some of these Big 12 teams to put a bigger guy on him or double, which they've done a lot, and shut him down. The guy that we've talked about since the beginning of the season and kind of tracked his ebb and flow, and knowing what you reportedly had to invest to get him. Trey Eaglestaff to me has been, he's been the guy where you need elongated consistency scoring, and it's not come. Now, again, when a team has two scoring guards, again, teams can shut that down. I think, the other thing it comes down to me is then what do you do if they, if you run into a team that can take away your guard scoring? Well, you got to get some big man scoring. And West Virginia just has not gotten that from the 5 spot consistently all year. And you didn't expect to.
No, Harlan Obioha can give you some things, but offense is not normally one of those. And West Virginia's missed some shots at the rim. I mean, unfortunately, Harlan had a couple of those at the end of the first half yesterday, but Brennan Laurent has missed close-in shots as well. West Virginia, again, has to take full advantage of every opportunity to get easy buckets because there aren't many when they play. And there were certainly some yesterday, but you've seen that really throughout the year. Whoever it is, again, Obioha, Laurent, DJ Thomas, or whatever, those baskets right at the rim haven't come as easily as you would like to think they would. And again, I mean, I know it's still, they're facing other grown men out there, so I'm not going to say it's simple to do, but those are the type of things that ultimately you have to be able to do, and West Virginia hasn't on a consistent basis.
All right, so West Virginia falls 60-54 to TCU. Again, they stayed out on the road. Oklahoma State in Stillwater, 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, the next opponent on CBS Sports Network. Team did stay on the road. We do have some communication in with Brad Howell. I don't know his availability this evening, but we'll be on watch for him to potentially join us this evening if the timing works out. And then BYU comes to town on Saturday, this coming Saturday, 5:30 is the start time for that one on Fox National. And after that, 2 more games next week with Kansas State and UCF before West Virginia goes to the Big 12 tournament. The other thing is West Virginia has kind of played themselves into a dogfight now for a bye in the opening round of the Big 12 tournament. Right now they're, in a 3-way tie for the last spot?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right. TCU one of those, Cincinnati the other in terms of that tie. So getting that first round bye, we keep talking. We haven't gotten into the women a whole lot, but they pretty much, in mathematically, they haven't locked down the double bye, but in reality terms, West Virginia's women are headed for a double bye opportunity, and probably a second place finish, to be quite honest with you, at worst. But for the men, the top 8 teams get a bye through the first round. Bottom 8 have to play on the first day. And right now, if the season ended today, West Virginia would be 9th according to the tiebreaker scenario. So Mountaineers would have to play on the first day. But there are 4. Everybody has 4 games left. We'll see where it goes from here. But you went through the lineup of games for West Virginia in these Final 4. There aren't easy games. Your easiest games are Oklahoma State and Kansas State, and both of those are on the road.
Right.
So, we'll see what ultimately happens for the Mountaineers. But unless some things go really well in these final 4 days for West Virginia, 4 games for West Virginia, they are not going to get an early round bye.
Yep. All right. How about the women? And that performance yesterday, I mean, the Mountaineers come out. That was a 1 Oklahoma State team that the Mountaineers just came out, and it looked like varsity on JV. Jumped
right
all
from
over.
the beginning.
Yes.
It was. I mean, you're exactly right. West Virginia took, and that was a Cowgirl team that came in here, one game behind West Virginia in the conference standing, in a OSU win puts them ahead of West Virginia. But the Mountaineers certainly took care of business, as I said. Then, by virtue of a Texas Tech loss, also yesterday, West Virginia has moved into second place, one game behind TCU in the league standings. With just a couple of games to go. Now, unfortunately for West Virginia, if you have dreams of a Big 12 regular season championship, TCU won today. They're again ahead of West Virginia and have the tiebreaker over the Mountaineers by virtue of the 2 wins that the Horned Frogs got over WVU. So, but West Virginia has a great chance of finishing second. Now, they got to take care of business in their final 2 games. Cincinnati at home, at UCF. You take care of business there. You finish second in this league. You've got the double bye. I think you still are within the conversation for a regional hosting opportunity in the NCAA tournament. But you probably have to do damage. Not only you got to take care of business in the last 2 regular season games, but then you probably have to do some damage in Kansas City as well. How much, I don't know, but that's probably your path to an NCAA tournament regional hosting opportunity. But I do think it's still alive. You?
Yeah, almost got the hope you needed today if you want to win the regular season title. Iowa State had a double-digit lead at TCU, but they came back and won 80-73. They play at Cincinnati. They do host Baylor on the last game of the season, but as Greg mentioned, they've got a game lead and they have the tiebreaker. Technically, I think if West Virginia finishes tied for first, they still can claim
Sure.
But they won't get the top seed in the Big 12 tournament.
No, and you'd love to have that. I said before, it's happened just once in program history that they've won a share of the regular season title. So, but that's certainly a reward you shoot for. But I think right now that one's probably difficult to be realistic. But I do think the NCAA tournament, and West Virginia's going to make it. It's a matter of, okay, don't gack up these last 2. But if you're probably at least a 5 seed somewhere and maybe pushing for a 4. So those are, again, if this team got to a regional hosting opportunity, boy, that would be certainly huge because it's, as we've talked about so often, happened just once in program history 30 years ago now, 30 plus.
You'd love this time of year because there's games going on that typically you would not care about, but now there's rooting interest involved. And as you mentioned, the bracketology on the women's side, Charlie Cream was updated before West Virginia's win over Oklahoma State. 5 seed on the 5 line. And you look at the other 5-line teams, one is old Don Plitzelwhite at Minnesota, and they're in action right now. They've got a tough one. They're playing against Michigan State, so we'll keep an eye on that one. That's on FS1 if you want to watch it. They're up 6-4, early to start the game there. One of the other 5-line teams, of course, you need to be rooting against the 4s.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma is on the 5 line. They beat our girl Kim Stevens today.
Okay.
So Tennessee's in a free fall a little bit. So Oklahoma picks up the win there. North Carolina is the other. If you're looking at the 4s to root against, Ole Miss is currently a 4. Kentucky is also on the 4 line, as are the Buckeyes and Michigan State. So I guess now I got to root for Don.
Yeah. So, I mean, in those 4s also are relevant for West Virginia in that you're not only rooting for them when it comes, rooting against them trying to get to the regional hosting opportunity, but if you don't and you're a 5, your second round potential matchup, you would go to one of those sites for one of those 4s. I've seen West Virginia at Ole Miss in a bunch of the bracketology. There's not that much for the women, but in those that I've seen. So, But those could be the sites West Virginia goes to, and ultimately the second round opponent if, things hold true to form as you get through it. So this is the time of year that you start paying closer and closer, attention to what's happening outside. Unfortunately, not as much attention needed for the men right now, but the women very much involved in that.
All right. The Buckeyes, one of the fours, beat USC today. 88-83 was the final there.
That's a good win then for them.
Yeah.
USC is
yes, USC struggled. Obviously some early injuries have kind of sidetracked their season. But all right, it is 6:25. When we come back, Joe Mercado is going to join us. We'll talk some high school girls basketball. Regional start this week. Girls State Tournament begins a week from, is that right? 2 weeks from Tuesday. 2 weeks from Tuesday. We'll be right back. Sportsline continues in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kirchhoff. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save
Well, good day to be a hockey fan in these parts. Of course, this morning we were treated to a gold medal, first time since 1980 by Team USA with the golden goal over Canada. And the Mountaineer hockey team, of course, it's a club sport, but they play in the College Hockey Mid-America League, and they won the championship today. They came in today in the title game against John Carroll University. Both teams were 12 wins on the no, I'm sorry. Let me look here. I don't see the records. Anyway, West Virginia beat John Carroll first time since 2014. They are the CHMA champs, and they will travel to the Nationals coming up in St. Louis. So they must do this by region.
Yeah, so. I mean, WVU's. I've followed them cursory for many, many years, going back to one of the people that helped really get the program going, and Don Spencer, many years ago. And they've traditionally had a really nice club hockey team.
Very good. So best of luck, and congratulations to the Mountaineers on ice. Joe Percato, one of the few events a year he actually doesn't cover, was the.
I don't know.
Well, he might have been there. Might have been there. I don't know. Joe, good evening.
Hey, good evening, guys.
How are you?
Doing well, thanks.
About to be real busy. Not that you're ever not busy, but we've got kind of give us the lay of the land. We got girls regionals beginning this week to set the lineup for the Girls State Basketball Championship Tournament, which is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yep, the brackets are set. They were released on Thursday, and they're all posted at the high school sports page at wvmetronews.com. But you'll go there and see 14 different brackets. You'll see 4 in Class A, Class AA, and Class AAA, and then 2 in Class Quad A, as this is the first year of the North Region, South Region set up for the largest classification in terms of schools. So 14 brackets, and those will determine the 32 teams that get to the state tournament.
And I'm not going to be the everybody gets a trophy guy. I mean, but I will say that there are a number of teams, those that are upper in the bracket, that only need one win to get to Charleston. So that certainly is something noteworthy.
Yeah, and I think you'll see a good portion of the teams that do get through to the state tournament. Of those 32 will probably have had to have played just one game to get to the state tournament. And certainly that's the case in Class Quad A, where you have just 20 teams in the entire classification and 8 will make it to the state tournament. So the road is not terribly daunting for a lot of teams that have already done their work to earn a high seed in the regional tournament. It'd be kind of interesting to see how some teams manage the layoff this week, because you're talking, if you played a game this past weekend, Friday or Saturday, you're faced with the prospect of going about a week and a half without a game. So that's a little bit of a challenge for the coaches, even though the road to get to the state tournament may not be that daunting.
Yeah, and I know last year with all the snow cancellations and postponements, they were able to kind of backfill that time off. A lot of coaches were, so it wasn't as pronounced, and we didn't hear as much about it. But this year, although we had a bad winter, it sounds like most folks have been able to get their games in for the most part, and didn't have to use that extra time off to kind of backfill those games. Curious to hear what you've been hearing about this new setup. I know that these changes get made a lot of times, and they're nowhere near the season, so people forget about them. And then all of a sudden, this time of year, when it's in the forefront, people start looking at the brackets. They're like, "What do you mean you only got to win one game to get to Charleston?"
Yeah, it's a little bit different, and obviously when you stretch out the classes and have 4 classes instead of 3, and that move was made 5 years ago, certainly there's more access to get to the state tournament, and with a number of classes shrinking in size due to consolidation with a lot of schools around the state, you're affording more opportunities to teams to get to the state tournament. But like I said, yeah, you're looking at a lot of the teams that are going to get to Charleston probably have a very short postseason road to actually get there. But I think, speaking specifically with the Class Quad A setup in the North and the South region, and the fact that you can have essentially a number 4 seed or a number 5 seed win one game and get to the state tournament, it certainly does give it a different look, and it'll be interesting to see once we get the 8 boys teams and the 8 girls teams to get to the state tournament, how it all looks.
So stay with Quad A for a second. You've got, like I said, the top two teams in each of the four regions with Morgantown, Martinsburg, George Washington, and Parkersburg South. Each need only one win to get there. Prohibitive favorites for each. Would you be surprised if those four are not in Charleston?
I would certainly say the four schools that you mentioned are very strong favorites to get to the state tournament. Last night I got to see George Washington defeat Parkersburg in the Mountain State Athletic Conference Championship game, a very competitive game. 59-54 was the final. Parkersburg was actually the only team to beat George Washington this year, and interestingly enough, Parkersburg is the 3 seed in their region because the number 2 seed in Parkersburg South defeated Parkersburg twice during the regular season. So I think those 3 teams in GW, Parkersburg South, and Parkersburg should be heavy favorites to get to the state tournament. In the North region in Quad A, you have Morgantown and Martinsburg. I was kind of interested to see if Martinsburg had a chance to get the number 1 seed because they have had a fantastic season, but it is Morgantown that gets the 1. Martinsburg is the 2. And then in the bottom half of that North region bracket, you've got 4 teams, and again, as we talked about, just 1 victory required to get to the state tournament. The number 3 seed University taking on the number 6 seed in Hedgesville, and the 4-5 game, a couple of Eastern Panhandle teams in Washington and Musselman.
Jump to AAA. I wanted to ask you about Region 1 in particular because I think it's kind of a new look. Number 1, John Marshall, is a team that has taken over the top seed in a region that features some very good teams and some very good programs. I mean, first and foremost, North Marion won a state championship not that long ago. They're the 5 seed against number 4 Fairmont Senior, and then a Grafton team that had a magical year last year, trying to battle through the graduation losses. They come in as the number 3 seed, but it's John Marshall and the Monarchs who are the favorite to go to Charleston as the number 1 seed. East Fairmont's on the other side.
And the Monarchs have had a fantastic season coming into the playoffs with a 16-5 record and a number of notable victories throughout the course of the season. And they, early on in the year, had a couple of victories over the other top teams in that region. They defeated both East Fairmont and Grafton in a 1-week span. And the number 2 seed in that region, the East Fairmont Bees, they got to the state tournament a year ago, as did the number 3 seed in Grafton. So I think those 3 teams, it does set the stage potentially for an interesting final game on March 3rd. If Grafton is able to defeat Brook in their opener, they would get East Fairmont, and that ought to be a very competitive matchup. John Marshall probably heavily favored to get through on the other side, and the Monarchs have had a fantastic season with 16 wins.
More teams in triple, double, and single A. So I'm not going to say every time because it looks like some of the brackets there are 1-win opportunities from getting there. But for the most part, you do have to win at least 2. Am I not right?
That is the case, yes. You look at Class AAA Region 3, where you have the only undefeated team in the state in Greenbrier East. They are the number 1 seed at 22-0 after a perfect regular season. But they still will have to play 2 games to get to the state tournament because it's an 8-team region. So a lot of it just depends on how the regional lines were drawn as to how many games you may get. But Greenbrier East, despite having a perfect record, will still need to win 2 games to get to the state tournament.
Give us just an overview on double and single, some of the favorites heading into the region to at least get there.
I think certainly in Class AA Region 1, the top seed in Williamstown, they've had a fantastic season. The number 2 seed in Wheeling Central, they were the team that got to the state championship game a year ago. So in Region 1, those are probably 2 heavily favored teams. Region 2, the Lincoln Cougars under head coach Rob Hawkins are the number 1 seed, and that ought to be a pretty competitive region because on the other side you have a Petersburg team that we've seen get to the state tournament a number of times in recent years, and a Philip Barber team that's just a couple of years removed from the state final. But I think the most interesting region as you get down in Class AA is Region 4 because you've got 2 defending state champions both in this region. Say, how is that possible? Well, Wayne won the AAA title last year, and they're down in AA this year. They're the number 2 seed. The number 1 seed in that region is Charleston Catholic, and those 2 teams played an overtime game with Charleston Catholic winning over the weekend. So Region 4 certainly does look very interesting, and I think Region 3 ought to be fun. You've got a Wyoming East team that has been a fixture at the state tournament. They're the number 2 seed, but you've got the number 1 seed in James Monroe, and their only loss on the season came against a AAA heavyweight in Nitro. So pretty good parity throughout the AA bracket this year.
So as you said, because of the way these brackets are laid out, those teams, not everyone, but a lot of those teams that get buys don't play until March 4th, 5th, or 6th. So any idea what the teams do? Do they just practice? Are they able to set up practice games with an outside program? How are, Morgantown and Martinsburg and those guys going to be, or girls, going to be using their 10, 11 days?
It's interesting you say Morgantown, Coach Hunter, because on the boys' side, Morgantown head coach Dave Tallman and GW head coach Rick Green have kind of figured out the system and played to it pretty well, because they've scheduled a game, and I believe that game will be March 5th, which will be their final regular season game. But they've essentially scheduled that game during regional week as kind of a their last regular season game, but it fills the gap that they're likely going to have if they're a top seed in their region, and obviously both of those teams are. So I think that'll be a trend going in the future. If you have confidence that you've got a team that's probably not going to play until the final game of the regional round, you may schedule a regular season game late in the calendar just because of that. So Morgantown and GW on the boys' side have done that the last couple of years. They'll play at GW this year, played at Morgantown High last year. So I think you'll see that trend kind of going on in the future.
Before we leave, just wanted to throw this out. I saw this article on the NFHS site last week about a 25-year snapshot at participation of girls high school basketball in the last 25 years, down 21% nationally. Girls high school basketball. And Joe, we're not isolated from that, because I know that Parkersburg Catholic won a state championship. They didn't have a team. Not long after that, now their teams returned. South Charleston didn't have a team this year, and I know that there's I've run across multiple teams this year that don't have JV programs. I don't know what the answer is, but it certainly is. We've seen participation in football certainly decline, but it's affecting girls basketball as well.
Yeah, and Huntington St. Joseph's on the girls' side, that was the dominant program in the 2010s with the run that they had, and they do not have a team this year. So I think sometimes these things do go in cycles. Certainly South Charleston being a Class AAA team and not being able to field a team this year, that was a little bit surprising, but my understanding is the middle school team for the feeder school for South Charleston did very well this year. So hopefully that's a program that can get back on track soon. But we've seen it in football. We've seen it in a couple other sports, and hopefully that's a trend that finds a way to reverse itself.
And I don't know if it's a factor. I remember talking not all that long ago to a high school AD from Kentucky, and they were saying down there similar type of problems, but it's actually the rise of volleyball, which is incredibly popular, is taking a lot of the athletes, and they're concentrating on volleyball rather than girls basketball. This is mainly on the girls' side. So I don't know if that's a direct issue here or not. And then nothing against those that make the choice. But, you only have so many good athletes that really want to concentrate there. If you got two sports that call them, you can't necessarily take one for the other. And travel volleyball is huge. So it's not like you can just do it during your high school season.
Yeah, my understanding is the club volleyball season pretty much starts as soon as the high school volleyball season ends. So there's not that much of a gap there, and certainly that could be leading to a little bit of that.
All right, final topic for you this evening. Going into the weekend, Kaylee Kellogg, Morgantown High School, announced that she has signed an NIL opportunity, believed to be the first in the state of West Virginia for high school athletes since West Virginia became the 44th state back in August to allow such things. Just curious as to your thoughts, Joe, and Greg's thoughts, if this breaks the ice, or is this going to be just kind of a one-off isolated type NIL deal?
Well, I think the story is, and there were a lot of people that when this was officially put in place in August and the opportunity was afforded to high school athletes to sign NIL agreements, I think a lot of people thought that there would be a flood of deals being made and that you may see potential transfers attached to that. And the fact that there has been, basically 6 months of inactivity on this front kind of, goes against that theory. I do think that there will probably be some more opportunities for high school athletes to sign NIL deals. Now, obviously, Kaylee Kellogg has great name recognition with what she's done in her first 2 years at Morgantown High School. I do think you'll have opportunities for athletes similar to her that, will come forward in the future. But I don't think, with the understanding that athletes cannot reference their high school that they play for or even the sport that they play, the number of athletes that have such brand name recognition based only on their name and detached from the school or the sport that they play, if that makes sense, I think that's a very small pool. Kellogg obviously fits the mold of that type of person. But it'll be interesting to see if now that we do potentially see some more of these come about.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this opens, I don't want to call it a floodgate, but opens the door a little bit for others. But I think, Joe, you sort of hit on it. And certainly great for Kelly and those that are utilizing this in the way that this is done. And because I think this is done as we all envisioned NIL being done. Local kid, local business, that's well and good. The concern I think many people had was, okay, you're going to start drawing kids to transfer. All of a sudden, there's going to be this, bidding war to get a kid from one school to another. And we know transfers are already a problem. Yep. But you throw in the NIL, that's where I think the worry was. And at least in this instance, not that, and all well and good in my opinion. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is, this Division II. I think the NIL deals in Division II are the true essence of what it was supposed to be. There is some type of, exchange done for the money. It's just not, here's a bag of money. Thanks for coming. There's actual actions attached to it. So, and again, it really, as Joe mentioned, we haven't seen it affect high school in West Virginia that much. Not to say that there's not backroom deals being done, as I'm sure that's, it doesn't always necessarily have to be money. There's other things could be attached that have to do with money, jobs, housing, that type of thing.
Happened for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
Not unusual.
For sure. All right, Joseph, we're just waiting for your NIL deal.
Golf season is about to start, so I'm
and he was free to.
I certainly have no objection to, branding equipment or whatever deal needs to be set up.
Yeah, you can start wearing brand name shoes. They want to start giving you those. You ever covered hockey? Your Rhode Island roots, you probably had some hockey background, right?
That's something. That's something I should probably have more background in, but no, I'm negligent in the hockey world.
Very good. All right, Joe. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll be talking to you a lot over the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Joe Mercado, Metro News High School Sports. 48 past. Take a break. Be right back for text and phone calls.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
At WVU Medicine, innovation is redefining men's health. Our specialists use advanced techniques like no needle, no scalpel vasectomy, and cutting-edge procedures for infertility. We offer precise vasectomy reversals, targeted solutions for pain, and the latest in testosterone replacement therapy, all designed to improve outcomes and recovery. For appointments, call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
New year, new trucks. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Sportsline continues. Greg, did you see where the Players Era tournaments in Las Vegas that West Virginia will be a part of?
Yep.
Next year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see a little delayed on the money?
No.
Being distributed? Yeah. Reported by Sportico that a number of the men's teams have yet to receive money they have been promised 2+ months after the event took place and later than was outlined in their contract. While this delay for the NIL-specific funds has been attributed to the College Sports Commission, which is currently reviewing the deal for their fidelity to the House versus NCAA settlement, that doesn't seem to explain the entirety of the holdup. So certainly something to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
here.
certainly, because that's a tournament that supposedly is funneling NIL funds directly to players, and that's what has made it so attractive for so many. And what people think is the wave of the future in getting away from these other, tournaments, mid-season tournaments, and that don't provide NIL funds. But if you can't pay the bill, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I've seen that there's some ideas being floated out there about that model potentially also being injected into the bowl system to try to keep the bowls alive.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, those small bowls, when you're getting 6,000 people there,
Right.
I mean, ESPN's making money, but do you have enough to really pay substantial NIL funds to the college players?
Well, the ones that don't probably, go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Mike in Charleston. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, Jim. How are you doing?
Hey, sir.
Good. Well, I've been feeling a lot better. I watched the Iowa State game against the TCU. That's the only way, really, West Virginia had a chance to be the number one seed if Iowa State had beat TCU, and then the last game of the season, TCU would host Baylor, and Baylor wins that one. That would give Horned Frogs 5 losses, leaving West Virginia and Baylor tied for first place with Virginia taking the nod.
Yep, have the tiebreaker.
But as far as is that correct, Hunter?
Yeah, you're right. West Virginia had the tiebreaker over Baylor in a head-to-head.
Right. Right, and I'd say it's a very good chance that West Virginia wind up number 2, regardless if the Baylor TCU outcome to a point. So the only way, again, I feel very confident that we can win out. I was there for Oklahoma State, and it's a very exciting game. And like I say, unlike other games, they came out early, came out fired up, shot 51% from the field. Wheeler was 18 and 10. Cook, 21 points. McRae, 8 rebounds. And Harrison had 12 points. Shot 51% from the field. to Oklahoma State. And here's the key. This is a very high-scoring team, Oklahoma State. People don't mention that too much. Only shot 23%, 19 from 3. West Virginia was 43 from 3. Only bad spot, guys, turnovers. West Virginia had 20 turnovers. Oklahoma State only had 16. So that was a little scary there. Rebounds. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but my quick question for you, one concern I had coming out of that game, West Virginia sustained a couple of injuries. Gia Cook, though, it looked like she was okay, sort of got a bloody lip. And then Sydney Shaw also left with an injury. Any report on what their status is?
Well, I wish I could tell you. Cook looks good. Both came back to the bench. Shaw got her bell rung.
Okay.
So medically, is it a concussion? I don't know. That's hopefully not, because the protocols can last a while.
Yeah.
But best I can tell you. Best I can tell you for now.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, real quick, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys that, not knowing everything, but just my speculation, that there were a lot of games out there to play. We wouldn't be having this conversation, West Virginia number 2, if Oklahoma State had knocked off Texas Tech, and last night Colorado knocks off Texas Tech. That put them out of the picture, 5 losses.
Yeah.
And so that's why how important this was with Iowa State today. But anyway, it is what it is. Another crowd, 5,000 Saturday. That's the third game I've been to with the crowd that big. So that's a good sign there. And lastly, as Kaylee, the coach's daughter, I did talk to her a little bit, congratulate her. That's official. I did not. There is speculation on what she was getting a year, but I'm not going to say anything because I can't back that up. But it was healthy. I can say that. And more power to her. I think this will, as you guys alluded to, probably open up some good possibilities. Other than that, I'll be headed for Kansas City, and I'll talk to you guys then.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the update. 3 to the top. When we come back, we'll get through the text. We need to discuss baseball a little bit.
Yep.
We'll hear from Steve Sabins as Blue Gold News was on the scene down in Lynchburg over the weekend. So
Kevin Kinder was there for us and saw West Virginia take 2 out of 3 from the Flames.
All right, so we'll listen in to Steve Sabins following the Saturday second game. Of course, they played a doubleheader with the weather moving in down there like it did here today, a little cooler. We'll do all that coming up in our second hour. Hear from Ross Hodge, also Jamie Dixon from basketball yesterday, Mark Kellogg as well. Stay tuned.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
Winter in West Virginia can bring snow, ice, and everything in between. But while the weather changes, your internet shouldn't. CityNet Gig Fiber is 100% West Virginia owned and built for reliability, delivering fast, symmetrical speeds that outperform satellite and cable, especially in tough weather. And right now, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for 1 full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month and speeds up to 10 gig. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain States premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration,
conversation starts long before the game. 3 guys before the game. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
All right, into the second hour on this Sunday night. Travis and Greg with you back on this final Sunday night show in the month of February. It'll be March 1 when we're with you again coming up next Sunday night. Texts, let's get into those in this segment. This is the original text that I referenced in the opener. So we'll read it here and see if, Greg, you have any more thoughts. Texter says, I think most expected the men's basketball team would improve over the course of the season with a totally new roster. However, I think their play was better for most of January compared to this month. In addition, the offensive performance during the last 4 minutes of the last 2 games has been totally dysfunctional. I think coaching has some responsibility for these trends. Finally, hopefully, this is not a preview of what we'll be watching the next 4 years, as my frustration is already approaching max level, says the texter.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand. I can't disagree that especially the late game offense has been struggling as of late. As I said, West Virginia's had other moments, but I think we've seen that this team doesn't have a lot of offensive strengths and players with those. And you mentioned it at the outset when we started talking. Other teams scout you, and the more they see of you, the more that they realize what they can take away. And if you don't have options 2, 3, and 4, when they take away option 1, that makes it difficult. So, hopefully in the near future, with the recruiting class that West Virginia has coming in, you can develop other options. And I've said before, I've dealt with the players on this team for the last 9-10 months, and they're great kids. So I'm not going to deride them in any way, but they are each sort of what they are, and I don't think they have games that can expand a whole lot and give you, a guy that can both shoot and drive. Javon Small was so good because he was multifaceted.
Yep.
And West Virginia doesn't have anybody close to that right now. So, hopefully some of the guys coming in the future have that. And some of the young players that you really hope West Virginia can keep in, an Amari Jenkins and in DJ Thomas. Hopefully they can expand their games because they show, I think, really good potential. But instead of being your 5th, 6th option, hopefully they can be, 1, 2, 2, 3, something like that, and their games can expand.
Well, dare I say, I mean, nobody's ever accused me of being Mr. Positivity. I mean, that's never happened. But I think the fact that we're sitting here on February the 22nd and upset that you've lost 2 games in a row, and now you're, out of the consideration for the NCAA tournament, where we flash back to where we were when this season started, and the fact that you're in late February and everybody just hasn't at this point thrown their hands up and written it off as it's a new coach, first year, brand new roster, and accepted the results. It's been a good year. I mean, it's been a good year. It's not over yet. I'd like to finish strong and have a pretty nice record and get a postseason berth, which they're headed for that. I feel. Yeah. But all in all, I'm not disappointed at all at what's happened this year.
First year coach.
Yeah.
Fourth new coach in the last 4 years, and basically each one of those years you've had complete roster turnover. Again, that's not a recipe that is going to lead you to a lot of great things. I think Ross Hodge is going to be really good at West Virginia. Get his players in place, and then keep a majority of them for as long as you can. I mean, I don't care who the coach is. That's key anymore.
Mike in Clarksburg, welcome to the show. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, guys. How you both doing today?
Hey, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Greg, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm good, Mike. Hopefully you're well.
Yeah, I had surgery a couple weeks ago, just trying to recoup. But you know how that is.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, hopefully you're better.
Couple things about this. Yeah, thanks. A couple things about this team. I'm in agreement with you guys. The overall picture I'm okay with, but there's some things that I just can't grasp. First of all, we know he's a defensive-minded coach. I'm okay with that. But here's a couple keys that have cost us a few games that I think we should have won. Number one, we don't run offense the first 20 seconds of the shot clock. I know that's his position. He wants to slow the game down. But these defenses are able to relax because we're not attacking the basket. The other thing that I see, and I watch Honor Huff all the time, that guy busts his butt to try to get open. He doesn't stop. Their best defensive players on him. Where we're lacking is our point guard doesn't drive the lane like these other teams do. Mm-hmm. If you look, they dribble drive, and then they've got a guy that camps out at the three-point line. They kick it out, and then they get their shots. Can you imagine how much Huff would get if he was able to do that because he didn't have to run the point and bust his butt trying to get open? The other thing, and then I'll listen to you guys, our screens and our picks are atrocious. They're half-assed 90% of the time. These other teams are setting great picks up top and allowing their guys to cut through. We don't have hardly anybody picking for Honor. And I'll listen to you guys.
Yeah,
thanks.
Make good points, I think, in all of them, Mike. I do think that, obviously the pace of this offense is very slow, and I know it's by design because he's a defensive guy. But the one thing that, those that know what's going on, Brad Howe will point to is, a Grant McCaslin, who was his mentor at North Texas first, now has obviously had some really good teams at Texas Tech. He also was similar until he got better players, and now they can go faster because he's got players that are capable of doing that. And I think the same thing could be said for your point guard situation. You're doing what you can do, but they're not necessarily guys that can get to the rim and drive and kick, which you'd like to see. Hopefully he has guys that can play faster in the future, can do some of those things that you talk about, because I do think that would be the next progression for this team. He's gotten it to where it is competitive most times, not every game, most times, because their emphasis on defense, and they typically play good defense, but got to play better offensively, and that probably means speeding up offensively, and hopefully you can get there.
JB and Buchanan, I like the men play, never give up attitude, but the offense is offensive to watch. Pound the air out of the ball for 20 seconds, then try backing down the player. And when they can't throw the ball back out for a prayer shot, says JB. And that's certainly what it was the other night. WVU's offense is offensive. Yet another pathetic performance by the offense. Yes, you do need to play good D to win at the highest level, but you also have to put the ball in the basket as well, or that D just allows to lose close, low-scoring games that many times are boring and brutal to watch, says the texter. Text says, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to social media comments. If you do, you're as tired as I am of seeing the bring back hugs comments after every loss. Why can't people just let it go?
I try to avoid social media.
Especially after losses.
Yeah.
Do you know when the last season that West Virginia had a winning Big 12 regular season conference record?
Not been in the last 4.
Yep.
You can look that up.
All right. While you do, I'll read Steve from Philippi's texts. He's got 2 questions. 1, hey guys, WVU's men's have stayed the same teams in the conference. WVU's men have stayed the same. Teams in the conference have gotten better. They're hard to watch at times. Also, Travis, regional rankings. Division II come out, men and women, in the top 10 in both from the MEC. Yeah, so I can speak to that. The regional rankings that actually matter and count will come out on Wednesday. That'll be the first batch. The NCAA, for some reason, I don't know why, but they release the first rankings are in alphabetical order of the teams that are in consideration to be
that's
ranked.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this week is when we'll actually find out where, everybody falls. If you want me to conject, I certainly can. I think West Liberty will be, on the men's side, will be the number 2 seed in this week's rankings. I think Fairmont State will probably be the 3 seed. And Charleston, I don't know, back in, maybe 9, 10, something like that. Really, right now, it's probably a 2-bid league. Charleston has some work to do. Women's, Greg, it's a complete another mess. It's technically Fairmont State, who is 4th in the standings, has the highest strength of schedule, and the one Division II bracketology that's out is a higher seed than Glenville, who's probably going to win the league because Glenville's non-conference schedule was poor. But then Glenville lost yesterday to Wheeling, so it's a free for all. So worst case scenario, we'll have the commish on next Sunday to preview, but and he'll give you a little better luck. Worst case scenario right now is it's a 1-bid league on the women's side.
And how many on the men's side?
Possibly 3, guaranteed 2.
Okay.
Yep. So, all right, what'd you find?
Last time, West Virginia was 10-10 in the Big 12 last season, so they were right at 500, which is what they're at right now. Prior to that, they were below 500 in the league for many years. Last time they were above 500 was 2021, when West Virginia was 11-6 in the league. So it's been, what's that? 6 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
But they were right at 500 last year.
All right, Mike from Preston County. This team is not even an average shooting team from the field or free throw line. When you run the shot clock down like they do, it seems like they end up with more bad shots than good ones. For me, Travis, it's been a very disappointing season. I've really lost interest, says Mike from Preston County. Yeah, again, first-year coach with Ross Hodge, we're kind of still learning. I know we have the next North Texas sample to look at. I hope, as you mentioned, Greg, once you have a more dynamic offensive team, that the style will change slightly. I don't think it's ever going to be up and down.
No.
It's never going to be that. It's never going to be that. But give it another year. If we're sitting here having this exact same conversation next year in terms of the style of play, then, maybe it doesn't work in this league.
Yeah, and everybody's allowed their expectations, and I'm not going to say anybody's are right or wrong, but my word that first-year coach with a completely new roster, that there were going to be some tough times.
Yeah, and again, to answer my question, we know this type of play works in this league because he's basically doing what Texas Tech did initially.
Yeah.
Now they have better players, and now they can score.
Yeah.
Texter says, does yesterday's women's game rank as the best performance all year?
Up there.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's definitely
it's hard to overlook that Duke game at the Greenbrier.
That was the one that came to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you just beat the Blue Devils, that would be noteworthy enough. But the way they did it was obviously, historic, at least for West Virginia's side of things. So, I mean, this was obviously more of a blowout, but I mean, Duke's going to be, they're talking about them being a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they got upset today.
Did they?
Yeah,
okay.
they did. Yeah,
it
they
probably
got upset
keeps
today.
them at the 3.
If I had to pick another one, I'm gonna choose BYU in Provo, just because, not that BYU's a great team. They're good. I mean, they're good and they're good at home. You put up 91 points on the road, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So,
but yesterday was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there, if not at the top.
Any transfers from last year's team had success at their new gigs?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Jonathan Powell is a backup at North Carolina. He's played a good bit. He doesn't score a bazillion. He averages 5-6 a game for the Tar Heels, who are obviously good.
Yep.
Sincere Harris is a starter at Cincinnati. He is what he is. But the two guys that you look at, people may not want to hear it, but Darren DeVries has had a nice season at Indiana. He's averaged about 16 points a game. I'm sorry, 14 points a game.
Darren's not his shot.
I'm sorry.
Tucker
DeVries. Close enough. It's it's all the same. And then the guy, and when he left, the guy that you really go, boy, I wish they could have kept him, was Amani Hansberry, who is leading Virginia Tech in scoring. What's the average?
15 points, 8 boards a game.
Yeah. When he left, that's the guy you go, boy, if there's just one guy you could keep, it would be Hansberry. He's gone to Virginia Tech and been what you thought he would be. He's very good. That would be a nice piece to have in place, but unfortunately couldn't keep him.
Texter says the biggest offensive problems for WVU basketball team recently, in my opinion, has been Eagle staff's inability to make open three-point shots. Since his big game against Arizona State, he is slightly better than 25% from beyond the arc. With Huff drawing heavy attention from opposing defenses, Eagle staff is most likely an option for a three-point threat. His inability to produce in this regard has been disappointing.
Yeah, help if he'd hit more. No argument.
Yep. Texter, so does this team play in Vegas postseason? Do they accept? Having said that, is West Virginia going to add women's wrestling?
I haven't heard anything about the university adding women's wrestling. Obviously, there was news this past week. High schools in the state of West Virginia are not going to have sanctioned or partially sanctioned women's wrestling. So there is going to be that on the high school side.
That's what's killing girls basketball.
It could be. Haven't heard anything about WVU doing it, though I do know that some colleges have it. So I haven't heard anything about West Virginia. Though, again, adding any sport at WVU is probably not going to happen just because the financial situation. And in terms of, I would think, I haven't talked to Darren, you got me thinking about the DeVries family now. Haven't talked about Ross about it.
You keep doing that.
Yeah. He's a guy who doesn't like looking ahead at all to postseason, and obviously they still have bigger dreams. But I would think that they would play in the postseason, and most Big 12 teams go to the Crown in Vegas. It said last year, the Crown's a 16-team tournament, completely based in Las Vegas. New last year, 5 Big 12 teams went and played in that. UCF actually made it to the finals, where they lost to Nebraska. 1 Big 12 team, Oklahoma State, played in the NIT. And actually, North Texas went to Oklahoma State and got a win and knocked them out. So the odds are you would go to the Crown in Vegas, and I would imagine that they would play. Last year they turned down an NIT because, the coaching staff was leaving. The team was completely disheartened. There were some others that turned down postseason opportunities, but I would think West Virginia would play. I don't know for certain.
I would agree. I would hope. Michael and Scott Depot, after watching the first 2 series of WVU baseball this season, I think it's going to be an exciting year. 5-1 start, not bad after all the changes last year. I hope the Mountaineer Nation can get behind the boys as the season progresses. I must admit, after the mediocre performance from basketball lately, I've been more interested in baseball than basketball this time of year. I hope the bats stay hot, and this team could possibly at least get back to regionals this year. Let's go Mountaineers. I chuckled because you can tell this team, and it's great. It's great. It comes with the territory. You can tell this team has a bunch of new Mountaineer fans that are now paying attention to college baseball and have no idea that you're going to lose some games. I mean, yesterday they are ready, to fire everybody.
Yeah.
And this season's ruined.
Yeah.
West Virginia had the bases loaded and lost to Liberty.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, was in a regional last year.
Yeah. Like you said, you go 5-1. That you do that the rest of the year, you're hosting regionals someplace along the line. So even above and beyond that. So you're right. We should point out that despite the winter weather that is outside right now, West Virginia is slated to open the home portion of its baseball season on Wednesday against the Ohio Bobcats. It was initially going to be Canisius on Tuesday, but they took a look at the weather that was forecast and said, you know what, that game may not happen. Let's move this back. And they found Ohio ready to come in. So Wednesday afternoon, Kendrick Family Ballpark, West Virginia's baseball team, if you're excited about that sport, there's your opportunity to see the Mountaineers at home. And
high 49.
Yeah,
it's not
there
bad.
You go.
Not bad.
They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just bundle up a little bit because that may not be the 80-degree days we'll see later in the spring of people sitting out in the stands, but that's not bad. They'll play if there's any way possible. They'll play 49. They won't bat an eye.
All right, Coach Hodge says Gary in Vienna, West Virginia, my hometown, has observed more than once that as a team, they would be figuring things out probably up until the end of the season. And I think that is an apt sentiment.
Yeah. I mean, I think any coach will tell you that it's a constant process.
Yep. Bill in Buffalo says other teams want the Mountaineers to shoot threes because they only make 22% from beyond the arc. Let's face it, Ross stepped up in competitive level. I like Ross. He deserves a chance to learn and improve and compete better and ramp up recruiting. Plus, I like the recruits he has coming next year. Ross is a winner. He was a great choice. He will not disappoint us moving forward. Hang in there, guys, says Scott.
Yeah, I mean, it's true for him and the players on this team, too. I mean, moving up to the Big 12 for everybody has been a new experience, and they're going to be growing pains. And Ross admits he puts it out there as much as anybody. Admits there are things he would like each game that he could do better as well.
Texter says, thanks for lunch tomorrow, Travis. Big Mac. What he's referring to, anytime Fairmont State scores 85 points or more, you get a free Big Mac the next day at participating McDonald's.
Well, you got to call me the day after so I know when this offer is out there.
Yeah, 103 they put up yesterday against Salem. Have you ever seen a start to a game that was 28-0?
No.
Well,
that's a pretty good one.
Yep. So that was quite
pretty
a
good.
run.
Well, in the MEC, 85 is way too low.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think John Hebert, the owner of McDonald's, needs to amp that up to about 95.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
save him some Big Macs.
Great for them. That's wonderful that they're willing to do that.
Yep, for sure. Hey, one other thing I want to bring up before we get to tape. I saw this article this morning, and it's free currently on the New York Times about.
Oh, I saw this.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
That they are
interesting. I like both of those.
The NCAA is kicking around changes to the punishment for targeting next year. So basically what it boils down to, Greg, is that if you're tossed for targeting, you do not have to sit the next half.
Makes sense. Yeah. If you second half, the current rule is if you get called for targeting in the second half of the game, you have to also sit out the first half of the next game. That would not be the case. You still get ejected. The penalty would still be enforced the same way, except you wouldn't have to sit out a future game, any portion thereof.
Yeah.
I like that. You like that?
100%. I'd also like while you're at it and figuring all this out, figure out what exactly is targeting.
Yeah.
For the 10th time.
Yeah.
But to the point being, there's still a lot of gray area. So yeah, the punishment is too severe.
Yeah.
And in most cases, you know, the kids aren't meaning to do it.
Yeah. There's no intent there.
Yeah.
You know, two people moving really fast. The next one is a pet peeve I've had that you're going to get into, but make people wear football pants on the field.
Who sang that song in the 70s? We love. It was an Air commercial.
Yeah.
Short shorts.
Well, you know what? It looks stupid, but above and beyond aesthetics, there's a safety issue if you're not covering your knee with pads and pants and all those other things. And we've seen, I mean, I'm not going to say that WVU's not part of this. They're the Mountaineer players, but I've seen others. I mean, it really is shorts that they're wearing. Yeah. And it's actually illegal now. It's just not enforced.
Yeah, Tate Sandell, the Oklahoma kicker, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Because he was basically wearing Daisy Dukes out there kicking.
So, and I saw the argument was, well, the referee's got enough things else to do. They don't need to become the fashion police and enforce. Well, enforce the rules. It's a rule. It shouldn't be that hard to enforce. You tell a kid, wear long pants, or you're getting a flag. I don't know what, decide. I mean, it's already a rule, so whatever the flag would be for illegal equipment.
Well, we sound like two old codgers, but
maybe
it's these kids today. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Remember, it used to be you had to have your knees covered with knee pads. Then the kids stopped wearing the knee pads in the shorts. Now it's the shorts are halfway up or the pants are halfway up the thigh.
The other thing is, you get another safety issue. Not everybody, bunch of people have wearing multiple mouthpieces, right? You always see them hanging down.
Yeah.
But they're not actually wearing anybody. Yeah. I think it certainly is in high school. Somebody tell me in college, you have to wear your mouthpiece or that's a rule, and that's a safety issue as well.
Yeah, college, they don't enforce it.
Yeah.
High school, they do. Yeah.
Enforce those things. How come high school guys can do that? Yep.
All right, we're off our soapbox.
Yeah, there we go.
We're off our soapbox.
I'm done.
All right, one more text here. I'm not one of the people who are ready to give up on Ross Hodge or pine for Bob Will Fix-It Huggins. I will admit my attention is now on women's basketball and baseball. Really excited for baseball.
Yeah, I mean, and both are. I mean, baseball's just starting, but off to a nice start, and obviously, women have huge aspirations. You just fear that it's going to be the same as other years for them, and they're going to have a really nice season, but they're going to sit on the road, and they're going to play well, but come up against the home team in a tough environment in the second NCAA tournament game, which we've seen. I have to go back and count how many times we've seen that.
I mean, I personally saw it 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
With my own 2 eyes. Little update there: Minnesota and Michigan State tied at 46. 4:07 remaining in the third quarter of play. That's on the women's side. Men, not a lot of ranked games today. Matter of fact, just 2 involving ranked teams, but they were pretty good games. Michigan State beat Ohio State in East Lansing 66-60 earlier today, and Wisconsin has just finished off a win over the Hawkeyes of Iowa, 84-71. So Wisconsin and Iowa now 19-8 on the season. 7:28. We'll come back. Tape next.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorough.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
So it's Dennis, it's Rodman degrees out there today.
Oh, that sounds really uncomfortable.
I know it does. I know it does.
Is that legal? Is that past FCC? I don't know if you're allowed to say anything's Rodman something. That's
it's Rodman degrees.
That's like saying it's awful Diddy out there. I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah. Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television. If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here. Talkline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
All right, again, the Mountaineers took 2 out of 3 from the Flames of Liberty over the weekend to start the season 5-1. Kevin Kender from BlueGoldNews.com had complete coverage of the game, and you can read his recap. And also he had a chance to catch up with Steve Sabins on the field following the second game of 2 yesterday.
Steve, I guess it's easy to say this was one of those games where you give up 2 hits and lose, and you get 10 hits and just can't scratch anything across. But is there anything else that you take from a game like this other than, hey, you got to take advantage of the chances when you get them?
Yeah, I think really free passes. So you don't score 4 runs and only give up 2 hits if you didn't let some guys on, right? And so this was our highest walk and free base total on the year. So guys played their asses off. They played tough. We were alive in the 9th inning, chance to win the ball game. You want to be in that position every time to sweep a series on the road. You'll sign up for that 100 days out of 100. So winning series on the road is difficult, especially against good opponents. So to lose the last game is never a good feeling on the bus ride home. But we were in a situation to win the game and need to throw more strikes and give up less free passes. Essentially, I didn't love how our 2-strike hitting went today. I didn't think the guys did as good of a job throughout the course of the game. We gave away some at-bats, in my opinion. We'd been really tough, nasty on offense is the truth. And today, the second game was a little bit of a let-up. Doubleheaders are hard. You're asking for concentration for 8-10 straight hours from 18 to 22-year-olds. And there's only so much they can give, and it looked like kind of the back end of this game, the concentration, the focus wasn't exactly what we wanted.
You know, everyone wants to know, hey, what do you do to fix, a problem when you have it? But are there specific things this early in the season, or is it just still the progression that you talked about a couple of weeks ago of getting guys out there every day, seeing where they can improve?
Yeah, I think it's more of a progression piece. If you can start the season, with 5 wins and 1 loss and go on the road twice and play 2 doubleheaders in 2 weeks, clip away 18 innings and walk away with a really good weekend, I think you're in a great spot and progressing the right way. And some of it is those big moments, right? Like we had a freshman up with no outs and bases loaded with a chance to tie the game with a double, essentially. And those moments are hard to come by. So like those, they offer growth opportunities. So like next time they get those shot, they're going to probably be a lot more comfortable with a slower heart rate when they get up there. And those are big moments for guys. And so I think it's just kind of part of that progression.
And then you have a freshman pitcher who came through again. And a big thing, I mean, it's hard to imagine having a better start to a career than that, as you mentioned earlier. So does that open up more opportunities, or are you cautious and say, hey, look, let's just keep going where you are right now, but now you're not afraid, you're not afraid to put him in a big moment?
Yeah, and that's the key. And even late in that game, we made some pitching changes where maybe traditionally you wouldn't necessarily make some pitching changes, but late in the game, we need to see what some guys can do. So JT Hugher got in there. He hasn't pitched this season. He got 2 outs, and then we gave the ball to Thacker because Thacker needs to be a big part of this, and he hasn't pitched yet this season. We actually threw Chase Meyer in a little bit of a different role today to try to get his pitch count up a little bit. So we brought him in a clean inning, which we almost have never done in this program before. He got up to 44 pitches. Last week was at 30. He's coming back from that injury, but he's progressing well. He's not going to like his outing. His outing didn't go clean, obviously, but he's getting better. So I think this early in the season, I don't know what the stats are, but we've probably thrown 16 pitchers or something like that. And you got to figure out what you have and how guys are developing if you want to be good at the end.
And to finish on a positive, Maxiell, after kind of a rugged outing, his first one today felt like he had a lot more command of what was going on, and even when he had a little bit of a tough stretch, worked his way right out of it.
This stuff is disgusting. He needs to throw a lot for us for it to be good, and he threw 4 innings, 6 punch outs, 2 walks, 1 hit maybe. And so he was dominant by basically all accounts. That was his longest outing as a Mountaineer. So this is his 4th season here, longest outing ever. Just a huge win for us.
All right, Steve Saban's thoughts following West Virginia's split yesterday in the doubleheader. But again, as we remarked, they took the weekend series with the win back on Friday. So appreciate, again, Kevin Kinder for the audio there of Steve Saban's Mountaineer baseball team back in action at home on Wednesday as they will take on the Bobcats of Ohio University, try to extract some revenge from that football loss. We haven't forgotten that.
No.
September. So.
You're exactly right.
All right, Ross Hodge met with the media down in Fort Worth following the Mountaineers' loss at TCU last evening. Let's listen in.
Yeah, give Coach Dixon and his team a ton of credit, man. Thought both teams played pretty hard for the entire 40 minutes, and there was kind of large stretches of the basketball game where I wouldn't say maybe either team played well, but I thought both teams played hard, and I think both teams probably deserve credit for making the other team not play well during those stretches as well. And we had the one little spurt. We were able to take the lead, and over the course of the 40 minutes, ultimately, what I think cost us is they were able to do what they do better than what we were able to do. We both came into the game. They were the best team in the league at getting their points from the foul line and getting 2-point baskets, and we had been one of the best teams at the league at not allowing free throws and keeping the ball away from the basket. And then so for them to shoot 27 free throws to our 12, and then, the differential and the rebounding, and ultimately our turnovers in the big picture was the difference in the game. And then in the small picture, I thought their ability to execute down the stretch and get the ball exactly where they wanted it, close to the basket and finish. I thought Punch made a great play. And then, we had poor execution down the stretch. So I've got to do a better job of helping our guys put them in better position. And then when we are in position to make the plays, we got to make them.
Questions, please. During the second half, it looked like you guys had momentum, and maybe you might, maybe you're a better team or you might have it. Did you feel like at that point you might have this?
No, you never really feel like that till the horn goes off, but I liked the way we were playing. We were getting stops. We were getting rebounds. Honor made some big shots in that stretch. And then, ultimately, I think we had 10 offensive possessions in the remaining after we went up 6 or 5, and we turned the ball over on 4 of our 10 possessions. And you just can't do that in a close game against a quality team.
Anything else? Yeah, one more. You're in that group of teams that everybody's talking about now as a bubble team. This close loss against a pretty good team. What do you feel like your chances are today?
I think I told our team the beauty of being in the Big 12 is you're going to get quality opportunities. You had one today. We didn't take advantage of it. More opportunities are still in our grasp and in our reach, but eventually you have to take advantage of the opportunities, and did feel like we had an opportunity today to get one, and we weren't able to do that today. But more opportunities are on the way. Obviously, Tuesday night in Stillwater will be another opportunity. Have a home game against BYU on Saturday, and so you have opportunities, but you got to start taking advantage of them because eventually your opportunities can run out.
All right, there's Ross Hodge following the Mountaineers' missed opportunity at TCU last night. Got, again, Oklahoma State coming up on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Cowboys have lost 5 in a row coming into the game on Tuesday night. It just shows you how nutty this league is. You know what started their 5-game losing streak?
What?
A win over BYU. 99-92.
You never know.
And then all of a sudden, lost to Arizona, Arizona State, TCU, Kansas, and lost to Colorado over the weekend, 83-69. So they're certainly looking at West Virginia as an opportunity,
sure,
to pick up a win. And they're down there at 16-11. They're trying to wrap up some type of postseason for themselves as well, because they've still got a game at UCF and Houston coming to their place. So. All right, we come back. We'll hear the TCU end of things with Jamie Dixon. He met with the media like Ross Hodge as well following TCU's win as the Horned Frogs pull it out in the final few minutes of the game. That is coming up after our final break. Be right back. Sportsline continues in a moment.
WVU Medicine's Reconstructive Urology program offers expert, personalized care for complex conditions, from trauma and strictures to erectile dysfunction and incontinence. Our nationally recognized specialists use advanced techniques, including robotic surgery and prosthetic implants, to help you reach reach Schedule your consultation today at 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today. Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kirchhoff. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
All right, a couple minutes here with Jamie Dixon. His thoughts on his team's late win over the Mountaineers.
Great win for us. Obviously, we know where we're at, and we've come a long way and battled, and we had to come a long way again today and battle, and we did. So defense carried us. 18? We forced the 16 turnovers, and we out-rebounded by 11. We made them take tough shots. I wish our offense could have been better, especially early. Thought we got some things going in the second half, and the second part of that first half, like making decisions. But they're really good defensively. I mean, coaches, they do a great job. And we told them, and that they're going to double team you, that they're going to load up, and we got to make the right pass, can't over dribble. And sure enough, we turned it over early by their defense. And the other thing is, we're a team that scores inside, gets the ball inside, and they're the best in the league at not allowing 2-point. They have the lowest field goal percentage at 2-point shots in the league. So once again, you saw why, because they're big, they're physical, they have plenty of bodies, and we had trouble finishing. We had trouble finishing around the rim, so I think we shot 22% on our twos today, which is a ridiculously low number. So, but we responded. We talked about in the timeout, I think with 4 minutes left. I think that went at 4:17. I called. We talked about this is where we win games, and this is what we do. This is our time, and that's what we did. So we do our we used to call them 4-minute games, but as the season's gone on, we're going more down to 2-minute games because they can go a little longer. So, but it gives you a lot of great situations, and we've been winning all the close games down the stretch. So really happy for our guys, happy how we did it because it wasn't pretty. But they play that way. They make it. They're really well coached. They really defend well. They do a great job of walling up and making you score over them. Really good job. We need to be as good as them in that area. And they're really well coached. Their pack line defense is really sound. And they're old. They're seniors. They're all seniors pretty much. I think they're the second oldest team in the country. They're the second oldest. I think we're the youngest in Power 5. So we're getting better, and that's what you want to do. See that? Here you go. Okay.
How important was production by LT in that first half? Kind of just gave you guys a minute to really.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could have done a better job delivering passes to guys, and we were over dribbling and shooting on two, and we've really tried to get better at that. But we need guys to make shots, and LT was huge. I mean, it's simply huge. And we had him out there in the second half, but I don't think we were able to get him those looks at the same time. So that's what he's here for. He's a 40% 3-point shooter, which I thought we'd be a better shooting team this year, but we haven't been. Maybe it's coming. We've had some great games where we shot it well, and we've had some other games where it makes it a real challenge. So, I think we can get better offensively, and he's a big part of it. But he plays good defense too. I mean, we're kind of figuring out down the stretch who we wanted in there defensively too, and he's right there. So he does a lot of really good things for us, really good things, offense and defense. And he's rebounding a little better, which is something we've really emphasized. He's got good size, but he's got to get more rebounds with that size.
All right, there's Jamie Dixon. We'll take a final break and hear from Mark Kellogg for the remaining moments of our program as the Mountaineer women pick up a dominating win over the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State yesterday. Sportsline continues in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Answering a text or phone call while driving seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Steig Wealth Enhancement Group is
owning a home is the American dream, but today's
retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email steig-info@wealthenhancement.com.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain States Premier Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
Our final segment of the show, Mountaineer women beats Oak State 72-40 at the Hope Coliseum yesterday. Mimi Wheeler, Gia Cook, and Mark Kellogg at the podium. We'll hear from Mark Kellogg and his opening thoughts on the win.
Well, proud of the group for this one. That was it's never going to be 40 minutes as a coach, I think, but you're always trying to get as close as you possibly can to putting a full game together. But to lead really from start to finish for us was what we wanted. We wanted to come out with a lot of energy and, kind of control pace, tempo. I thought we had a good game plan going in that these guys did a great job of executing. Oklahoma State's a really good basketball team, really, really good, well-coached, good basketball team. They present a lot of challenges that we had to work at and had to prepare for. Certainly we're concerned with some of their perimeter shooting and their ability to go in transition. So I thought we did a good job limiting those things for the most part. Now, they missed a bunch of open looks at times too, but I thought we were disruptive in what we did defensively. Again, to hold that team, who's one of the nation's elite offensively, to 40 gives us a great chance every single night. So I'm obviously proud of these two to my right and left. I thought they were really, really good from the start. Like the mindset, like the attack approach. Good crowd, great environment. Really good basketball game from our standpoint. I thought we put the TCU loss behind us in a good way, but maybe used it as a little motivation to continue. We have a lot to play for continuing through this season, and proud of this one for sure, and the effort from the ladies.
Gia, do you think, was that as, locked in or focused you guys have come out in the game this season?
I think we started a little off past couple games, so I just think that was off this bye week. I think we just wanted to go in, and we were just excited to play, I think, and we had a lot of momentum going in. They made baskets, we made baskets, but I think we kept our foot on the gas, and I think we just never, took it off. So I think that we made shots, we made a lot of reads. We still got to take care of the ball a little better, but I think we came out really good. I think we came out with the right mindset for sure.
And then was it just a bloody lip for you?
Yeah, I got a busted lip, yeah.
Gia, you often hear scorers and shooters, they'll talk about the importance of making the first shot. What about banking in the first shot from three? What does that mean?
That right side is kind of my spot, so I let it fly. It was the right shot, so I called the second one, didn't call the first one, but we was talking about it at halftime. Is she doing this on purpose? And I'm like, man, the right side my side, so I'm gonna just keep on shooting. But I called the second one for sure.
You call it? Did you hear it? I didn't hear that. Yeah, I was standing right there. I didn't hear it.
I promise, I called the second one.
Maybe they were kind of just letting you shoot it from mid-range today, and it seems like a few teams have started to let you do that. Is that what you're most comfortable with?
Yeah, for sure. It's a shot I practice a lot. I think people think I'm very dominant in the paint, so that I can't take that shot. But just taking my time and getting that shot as an open look, it feels good, and it's easier for me to get to the basket. It opens up the floor.
Is it a learning process when you get here that when you make a three that you can't, no reaction and just go right back to guarding?
Yeah, because we press all game. So, I'm trying to, if I shoot, I got to go find the next person when they take the ball out. So, I just try, we try to celebrate sometimes, but we just want to keep the, defense intensity going. So, I can't stop and look at y'all all the time and stuff like that. But, I be celebrating in my head.
What's your general reaction to, you obviously know Oklahoma State's numbers coming into the game. They score a lot of points, 83 points, and you guys basically held them to half that. So what's your reaction to that? You probably don't expect that going into the game, but as it starts playing out that way, it's probably opened your eyes a little bit, I would imagine.
We practiced a lot this week, guarding the three-point line. We knew what they were good at, transition, and we just put an emphasis on it all week. So I think coming into the game, we knew what they were good at, and we wanted to take it away. And I think we did a good job executing on defense today.
Holding them to 40, does that surprise you at all?
Not at all. My team is more than capable of holding teams to 40 points, and we've proved that.
Thanks, Gia. Thanks, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Questions for Coach?
So, Coach, you hold them to 5 in the third quarter. It's the fewest you've had a team in a quarter this season. What was kind of just the thoughts going through that third quarter, how your defense played?
Yeah, good. I thought we controlled the tempo in the third. We didn't want to end up in a back and forth shootout with that lead. It wasn't to slow down necessarily, but it was, let's be a little cognizant here of time and score, so to speak. So, yeah, it was mostly just, keep them in front. Nothing changed other than just being really, really, like I said, just being aware of time, and we didn't want to make a big run. We didn't want to turn this into a score back and forth, which we've done a couple times in the third quarter with a lead. So just wanted to grow there. You don't expect it to hold them to 5 by any stretch. Offensively, we lost our flow a little bit, though, doing that, and so that was maybe a little disappointing because you want to be able to do it on both ends. But, I just thought we controlled it with a big lead, and that's what you want to do.
All right, Mark Kellogg following the Mountaineers' 32-point win over Oklahoma State at the Coliseum yesterday. Women back on the road for their final 2 regular season road trips They play at Central Florida, UCF, on Wednesday, a team they beat by 50 at home. And then they will they'll host Cincinnati on Sunday at 2 o'clock. So one road game left. Home game also remaining. They beat Cincinnati by 8 at Fifth Third Arena earlier this season. Men, Tuesday night down at Oklahoma State. We're back with you next Sunday night. Have a great week, everyone.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.